We're
We're live.
live. We're
Welcome
live.
to the Everything Is podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please hit that subscribe, that follow, comment, and all that good stuff, guys. It's your host, CT Chitty Bang. Hello, with my Tazzy partner, Chris, the Most High. Chris, you might want to fix your mic. I think we can't hear you. But
Hold on, you
yeah, man,
said
we
they
got we got
can't
a
hear me?
oh, we can hear you now, but it was a little bit crackly. But yeah, we are the podcast where we talk about everything that matters. We are the zeitgeist. We are the culture. So, Chris, how you feeling tonight? I know you've been going. You had a day. I don't know. You're not talking too much, but
Hello, I'm here, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. My man calls me the joint roller Ayatollah. We got one rolled up. It's a Wednesday night, and I'm not driving. I'm passenger shit. I'm a passenger princess today, baby. Let's go.
yeah, pull it over. Listen, pull over for the Everything Is podcast and pull up so we can sit here and talk about everything that matters. Today we're gonna have a talk about unity. Unity, yes, unity. After yesterday, I called all these black guys coons. So I think we should start.
Hello.
Hello. I think we gotta really just go. I want to introduce y'all to this to Angie Dixon. I know we started yesterday's show with Angie Dixon, but she's gonna need that unity tonight. She's gonna need that unity, not just tonight, but next coming months in this midterm election. But before we get, just so y'all can know who you're unifying behind, I want to do a little bit more deep dive into her, show a little bit more of what who she is, what she's about, and how people are trying to attack her. Um, and just from her own words, who she is, because I think it matters with especially her race. This is Florida, guys. This is a Senate race. Um, listen, Andrew Gillum, 2018, kind of let us down. Prayers to him and his addictions and everything like that going on with him. But he came so close.
I think we discussed it. It was 0.4%.
Oh my
Point
goodness,
zero
bro.
point 0.4% that
Came
he
so
lost, bro.
close. And that was for governor, right?
Yep.
This is a Senate race, so it's also a statewide race in Florida. She is not predicted to get anywhere close. But if there's any hope, there's a hope. There are people that will vote for you in Florida there, who statewide. They voted for you over the incumbent Democratic, you know, leader. So obviously the Democrats fuck with you. Now it's about getting the state largely to fuck with you, and that's the challenge for Angie Dixon over the next 3 months. So,
Well, I mean, can you hear me? Am I good on the mic?
you better, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So what I would say to that point, she won the state to represent the Democratic caucus, right? Like, so for me, that was huge, right? For me, statewide, being able to unify and be able, again, it wasn't, she didn't like dominate, but she upset it and won convincingly, right? So there's two different things, right? It was a convincing win. It wasn't a dominating win, but it was a convincing win from an underdog, right? So
Yeah.
for my sports,
For me,
yeah,
from where she came from, I say dominate because it's a dominant from where she
bro,
came.
that's
But
what I was about to say.
convincingly.
For my sports fans, 2008 Golden State Warriors against number one seed Dallas Mavericks. We talking about like 8 seed beating a 1 seed, dominating. Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, Baron Davis, Barbosa, I believe was on that team, dominating Dirk and them boys, right? That on an MVP Dirk season, right? Like
and
that is what
this
I'm
is
saying.
an MVP
Like
candidate and
exactly.
Prosecuted Trump and all that stuff, and people are like, we off of that. Nah, we're gonna go with Angie over here, who we think really got our back. And so shout out to the Democrats down there in Florida for putting one of the fighters in the position to fight.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. This give me inspiration to hit the floor, cuz. I ain't gonna hold you. Like this gives me inspiration to kind of see what I can do, where I can be, who I can help, how can I fit into the grassroots situation of this? Because right now, again, I am in Polk County. If we look at that map, it's not deep red, it's not dark red, it's not bloodshot red. It's a little fourth day period pink, you know.
Facts. And I think you can find your tribe there, and that's the key: finding your tribe. Because once you feel like, yo, man, I felt like when I was down there, I was like, how are we gonna overcome all this, you know? But when you find people that you fuck with, and you're like, yo, there's people like me down here, we can make a movement. You know, there's people who understand what's going on in this country, no matter where you are. I think a lot of people who are in blue states are afraid of red states. Like, oh my God, they're completely outrageous, and vice versa, I'm sure too. But we are looking at the red states like, yo, you might go there, get shot, might get kidnapped because of racism, you might get somebody spit on you, might call you an N-word. I've lived in Florida. It wasn't that my experience there, but I know when I talk to my New Yorkers over here, they all think of Florida as this crazy racist place. Don't get me wrong, it's different. And there are people who will say insensitive things down there more than over here. We have a little decorum over here in Florida, in New York. New York, we just mind our fucking business, and we also kind of have a little blend over here where we kind of understand more than maybe some other places on culture, and won't say certain stupid shit that's insensitive and sometimes disrespectful. But it's not this overtly racist experience when I was down there. So when I see the people down there, it's just about educating, and that's the problem with Florida. These are a lot of these people are the descendants of the Confederacy, the descendants of, you know, slave plantations and all that stuff. When you look up at the top of the map, you see all that red. That's all plantation area back in the day, and you know, the super Christian, you know, some of them are even Mormon, you know, it's very heavy in the church, and they just indoctrinate them into these mindsets that this is the way of life, and you don't go against that, or else we go against you. So leaving the church or leaving, you know, the Republican Party or MAGA or whatever, it's an identity crisis for a lot of these people. So that's what you're up against. It's getting people to realize that going against your identity is almost beneficial for you long term. Because I can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're muted or if your mic is.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, she has to win her county. Yeah. I'm listening to you right now. And I got the map up right now. Using votehub.com again, pulling up that map. Duval County. It's light. It's light blue, like really light blue, close to gray, right? They have an estimated votes of close to maybe 400,000 collectively, and her estimated share of those votes is 51.8%. So she has to win her home county. Duval. She has to win Jacksonville. Duval, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Red, right? So it's blue right now. It's current. It's like it's kind of whitish of how it's close, but it's blue. You know what I'm saying? So
I want to go back to what page is that again?
I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you right now. I'll send it to you.
All right,
I'll send it to you.
I want to see that. But in the meantime, let's check out my boy Kyle Kalinske, man. I fuck with his content because he be telling like it is.
Let's start calling this nigga Con Nipple, nigga. All he do is just make buckets. This nigga a bucket getter.
He calling balls and straight, and he don't give a fuck, man. He don't give a fuck how he comes off. Let's hear him talk about Angie and the significance of this race while you send me that one.
So I got my little cigar right here. Got my little cigar that will be smoked at a point in the near future because it is celebration time. Here's the champagne that me and Crystal will be drinking later. It is celebration time because of Angie Nixon. So Angie Nixon is a DSA Democrat. She was running for U.S. Senate in the Democratic primary against the centrist named Alexander Vindman, and she absolutely obliterated him. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. Now, We did. Unfortunately, Oliver Larkin did lose his race, but as I warned you 1,000 times, that was a very, very difficult district. You could argue it's like the most difficult district in the country for, a Democratic Socialist type candidate. Elijah Manley also lost his race, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz won in that new area, which was just redistricted. It's a very black district. They voted for Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Quick with that.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I know you talked about that.
Yeah, I was speaking to my wife because she's her family's down there. Brother, dad, and everything like that. They stay down in that Miami-Dade, Broward County area. And this was very. This was very significant, as that is a very black, very, very, very black county. And they allow
name recognition down there. And
bro,
throughout the
she's the incumbent too, though. To be quite honest, and that's the scary part, though, because she has a lot of influence, and I don't know how that influence is wielded. I don't know how that power is wielded. You know what I'm saying? That's difficult,
because she is she's not with the new wave. She's with the Hillarys, the Obamas, the Joe Biden type shit, and
So she's a tradition. She's a traditional Democratic Party
that also went against Bernie, and was significant in Bernie losing to Hillary. It was just a lot of bullshit that was going on. Where I felt like, man, why are so many people backing Hillary in this time? But
but with that being said, though, too, this goes back to my point of, what is your real constituency here, right? She's a native or born in New York, and she's now a migrant down here in Florida. With that being said, she's here in that Fort Lauderdale kind of area. That's where she's at. But let's not also, let's not be blind to, again, the fight that we have within the Democratic Party, right? This is a Patreon talk. I ain't gonna talk this crazy on the regular joint, but let's not be blind as to what Schultz is able and how is able to maneuver down there with a lot of backing, let's say. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna leave it there.
She was head of the DNC, and they had a email leak where she was going against Bernie Sanders and showing how to go against his religious beliefs and all this stuff. And you're supposed to remain neutral when you're head of DNC during the primaries. And she heavily weighted in favor of Hillary, and then weighted in favor of Joe Biden as well. And so I don't really fuck with her.
Looking at the results of who those two people represent and where they receive their money and how they, what side of the fence they lean on or who they support, it fits.
Yeah.
It fits the bill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately. So she won, unfortunately, but so we got to support her down there in Broward, because we don't want no Republican taking that seat, but it still fucking hurts. Yeah. Let's continue with this.
Primarily because they wanted to, but because there were 4 or 5 other black candidates who were running and splitting the vote, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz was able to get in there with a not too stellar performance. Okay, so again, more on all that in a second, but let me give you this. So DSA candidate who barely spent $500,000 during the entire campaign just trounced the most famous resistance liberal on earth, who had a $14 million war chest. Alex Vindman was bred in a lab for this race. The betting markets gave him around a 98% chance of winning. The poll showed him leading by 10 points, and he ended up losing by 11. To call this
you put money on my girl, Alex,
Angie Nixon.
Angie Nixon. Yo, you fucking made a
nigga. I would have paid my mortgage off today.
Yo, I'm just showing you the graph that he has. He shows it here.
Yo, look at the percentage. Yo,
say this as clear as
if we've
possible,
ever
out
watched
there,
ESPN and watched Monday Night Football,
early this
your
morning,
team got that 99% possibility of winning,
and look at the results.
That is what that chart looked like. That's exactly
Nixon
what that
with 53.3% of the vote. Alexander Vindman with 46.7% of the vote. Again,
she only had $975K for the race. He had
He outspent her 15-1, bro. He outspent her
this is
15-1.
bigger than Abdul Asayed and what this means for if what Democratic Party really wants, the voters, the constituents really want.
I cannot put into words how tremendous this is here. Okay. Early this morning, Kalshi had Angie Nixon with as low as a 5% chance of winning. Not sure the wisdom of the crowds is quite shining through on these sites yet. So I want to say this as clear as possible to everybody out there. Do not in any way, shape, or form take these betting markets seriously. Okay? Don't do it. Because it turns out people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And this is not really a snapshot of anything except maybe mass delusion. Because the number of times the betting markets have been dead wrong, it's beginning to pile up more and more and more and more and more. Right? The same thing happened with the Francesca Hong and David Crowley race, just in the other direction. So don't fucking take this shit seriously. That's my warning, and I hope you all heed that warning. Okay, so here's Oliver Larkin. I'm gonna get to more on Angie.
I'm gonna fast forward because you want to get back to the Angie conversation here, and you get to see where she's coming from with things.
Republican Party in the year 2026. Okay, so now let me go back to the Angie Nixon Alexander Vindman race because there's a bunch of interesting stuff here. So Vindman was apparently, quote, arrogant, according to Axios, and he, quote, literally laughed at Angie Nixon and said he didn't even think he was in a primary. So Angie Nixon just outworked him, just beat him.
That's
just,
a white man looking
doors,
at a black woman and thinking that it's easy. It's easy. There's no way Florida's gonna vote for a black girl.
Much less a socialist.
Come on, man.
After everything I did against Trump, right? And mind you, Angie did this with no TV ads, which is ridiculous.
This all for the fact that we looked at you, Alex, and we said, nope, not him. Nope, not nigga. Off of pure look. On my mama, nigga, what I seen on the show? On my mama, nigga, I saw that nigga on the show. I'm like, bro, he don't pass the look test, nigga. I ain't voting for this nigga, bro. He look weird.
You did say that, dog. Oh man, let's continue.
Doing all like the retail politics stuff correctly, as apparently people were annoyed with Vindman. I mean, he was running a bunch of ads. And look, in the ads, I watched one of them last night. In the ads, he's talking about how he led the impeachment against Donald Trump and he's going to stand up against Trump and corruption and stuff like that. And even that wasn't enough. So, the people of Florida must really not like Alexander Vindman, and Angie Nixon ran just like an A++ type campaign. This is awesome. We're now in the phase of the election win where Fox News starts to fearmonger about the most based policies of all time.
Look at pause this real quick, platform. Bro. Pause it real quick. This anybody looking at this, if you can read, do this look like somebody? That's a bad person.
Oh man, and you're gonna see why she's such a bad person coming up. But she's bad in the way that she's good. So bad she's good. And you're gonna see her talk from her own mouth on. And I know you're gonna love what she has to say because I know you didn't like her reading the other day, but you get to see her talk.
Speak from here. Speak from here.
So let's continue. But before we get to that, they're fear-mongering her already on Fox. But look at the list of this bullshit.
Medicare for all.
I wish
free
Stephen A was
care,
on. I wish Stephen A was
family
on
and
there
sick leave,
to see what he's
national
saying,
rent freeze and moratorium on evictions, universal jobs program, tax the rich, and abolish ICE. Look, my theory is somebody at Fox News, one of the producers, is low-key a Democratic socialist. Because the fact of the matter is, if you want to attack Angie Nixon or DSA, which they always attack like DSA by extension with a lot of their candidates here, and Angie Nixon is DSA. What you put up on the screen is, abolish prisons, defund the police, abolish borders. And that isn't even Angie Nixon's position, but they do this, guilt by association thing where it's like, well, you're part of DSA and this is in the DSA platform. If you want to go after a Democratic Socialist or a left-leaning candidate, that's what you put up if you're really going after them. You take the actually unpopular positions and you plaster them everywhere and go, this is what they stand for. But this is why I think there's a producer there who's secretly on the left, is because they're putting up every single one of these policies is popular. Every one of them polls above 50%, and many of them poll above 70%. I think they're just trying to help her out. Absolutely incredible stuff here. Then we have Angie Nixon going on Morning Joe, and she fucking just absolutely nails it. So first, she's asked about Israel. Let's listen.
Would you support cutting off military and economic aid to Israel?
At this time, I believe what's happening over in Israel and in Palestine is not good for Israelis or Palestinians. And I believe that Netanyahu is a war criminal who needs to answer to his crimes. And I do not support sending any money or any weapons to Israel at this moment. No, I don't.
So just a sidebar here, Gene Robinson. I just want to do a quick summary, and you have the next question to the state legislator. Her position on aid to Israel. By the way, just for people that right now their hair is like combustible, that's Rahm Emanuel's position on Israel now. Rahm Emanuel, whose father was there at the birth of Israel, who fought for Israel.
By the way, I think Rahm Emanuel's lying about that. He doesn't actually believe that, but he wants to be president. So now he's telling the Democratic base what they want to hear.
His position is we should treat Israel just like every other country. We should treat them like our allies, Great Britain. We should treat them like France. And we should give that aid based on how they conduct themselves. And right now, Rahm doesn't believe that Netanyahu is doing, just as the legislator said, what is in the best interest of Israel or the best interest of America.
I love how Morning Joe was just smearing Hassan Piker and Abdul by extension, having like a stage 5 meltdown. But now Angie Nixon, who has the same politics or even further left politics than Abdul, right?
You ain't finna talk to her like that, nigga.
Now all of a sudden she's okay, even though she has the exact same beliefs. The lack of consistency is absolutely insane. All right, more. Here she talks about how she's always fought back and always found a way to win in politics.
And I also want to be clear. I've unseated incumbents before. I've been outspent 5-1, and I did that while I was 9 months pregnant with COVID. Y'all, I'm not 9 months pregnant anymore, and I definitely don't have COVID. So y'all know I'm gonna work hard as I can, and that is how I'm going to win. And
come on, she got all 5 of them. She got those down. That's what I'm saying, guys. Bro, you can't beat a bitch to a charm, nigga, on my mama, cuz she'll talk a nigga out of droughts, nigga. I'm like,
Look at all these white men smiling. Oh wait, there's one behind you.
That's Mike Tirico. He Italian.
Okay. Yo, man.
Yo, look at all the smiles from the white guys, bro.
Yo,
like the confidence, the swag, and to the point. To the point. This is why I say. This is why we speak and say that we're not a monolith, right?
Yeah.
Jasmine and Angie, not pitting them against each other. I don't want to pit two bad women against each other. No. They're again. You can be charismatic. You can be for the moment. You can be social media ready. You can be all of those things. It's again how it's the theme of the week. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I'm saying? Like she is disarming them with charm. Not with
Southern charm,
bro. But these are two Souths, right? We're talking about South of Texas, South of Florida. These are two different Souths. You know what I'm saying?
Texas got that.
Texas, you gotta be aggressive.
Yeah,
you gotta be aggressive. But she from but Angie's from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And you can see the fighter though. You can see that.
And we're gonna see more of her fighting on the House on the state Senate floor.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to show that clip in a minute. But
with COVID, y'all, I'm not 9 months pregnant anymore, and I definitely don't have COVID. So y'all know I'm gonna work hard as I can, and that is how I'm going to win. And that is how
she's winning them over. She's winning them over. Look at Morning Joe with that smile from ear to ear. She's winning them over, and she's a Democratic socialist.
I know that Ashley Moody will be calling me senator in November.
Ooh, okay. All right, more. Morning Joe asks Angie Nixon if she supports defunding the police, and then here is her response.
So you don't support defunding the police?
No, I don't support defunding the police. I do support comprehensive criminal justice reform to make sure we are addressing some of the root causes.
Woo! Let's go back to what we talked about yesterday. How do you phrase this so people are digestible? Listen, we
My
are
nigga.
the Zycos. We are the
Yo,
culture.
we are-
Listen, we literally talked about this yesterday.
That's what
I
I'm
said there has to
saying,
be another
bro.
way to do this. Comprehensive. What's she? Sorry, I want to.
What she say? Yeah, what she say?
I
What
don't
she
wanna- I
say,
don't wanna
cuz? What you say,
misinterpret.
cuz?
Yeah, I know reform.
No, I don't support defunding the police. I do support comprehensive criminal justice reform to make sure we.
So
Comprehensive criminal justice reform.
comprehensive criminal
justice reform.
reform. CCJR. I think we need to start using that more. Thank
Hold
you,
on, let
Angie
me
Nixon,
see.
for putting that
Comprehensive
criminal justice.
criminal justice reform.
We need to
Okay.
rebrand defund the police. We really do. To repackage that, it does not work. It does not work. Even with Democratic voters, like come on, it just don't work. And don't get me wrong. We want to go still do our receipt room and dive into this one day. But this is what me and you were talking about literally just yesterday. So when she said that, I was like, man, me and her kind of think the same way. I caught on the defund the police thing too. Her whole platform, I'm on board with. If she actually can pull off a Hail Mary and become senator, I might move down to Florida. I might move back. Bro, I'm just excited for her, man. And honestly, truth be told, even if she doesn't win, this is huge for DSA. It's huge for her. And it's huge for the ideas. And she's going to become a star over the next 3 months. She's going to become a huge star in the country.
So I just pulled it up. All right. Here we go. Comprehensive criminal justice reform focuses on changing how the legal system handles crime, policing, and punishment. The goal is to improve public safety, reduce government spending, and ensure fairness. So there's 3 pillars to the reform. Front end reform, you have civilian responders, bail reform, pretrial, decriminalize low-level crime. We have number 2, back-end reform, reduce mandatory minimums, expand recidivism programs, and ban private prisons. Number 3, system transparency, end qualified immunity, eliminate hidden fees, and standardize police data. So what I do believe that one thing that's going to be very, very, very hard to do is ban private prisons in Florida. That is going to be off the top. That's going to be tough.
She talks about that too. So I want to hear how she talks about this because it is a big deal when it comes to private prisons, and that has to be a conversation for real.
Addressing some of the root causes of people.
Democratic socialist.
I know that Ashley Moody will be calling me senator in November.
Ooh, okay.
For defunding the police.
No, I don't support defunding the police. I do support comprehensive criminal justice reform to make sure we are addressing some of the root causes of people leading into a life of crime.
Look, I love that answer. As I told you guys on this show, and any left-wing candidate is more than welcome to steal this, okay? But I think the best response is we're not going to abolish prisons. We're not going to defund the police because we need them to arrest Donald Trump and Elon Musk. We need them to arrest Pete Hegseth. We need them to arrest Stephen Miller, okay? I'm a law and order leftist. I want to lock up the war criminals. I want to lock up the white-collar fraudsters. I want to lock up the Wall Street criminals. I want to lock up the ICE Gestapo thugs. This is what you argue. You flip it back on them and make it seem like, oh, actually, we're the tougher ones on crime, as you guys are on a historic crime spree right now. But either way, I love that answer from Angie Nixon. All right, we got more. Here now they ask about the abolishing prisons thing. Here we go.
Your Republican opponent, Ashley Moody, already is saying the positions of the DSA and particularly of you are crazy, calling you all comrades together, et cetera. So what about abolishing prisons, which is one of the platform positions of the national DSA? Do you support that?
I don't support abolishing prisons. What I do support is abolishing for-profit prisons because they exploit labor and they usher many of our children into the school to prison pipeline. Why are we incentivizing the enhancement of penalties and actually allow the enhancement of not actually allowing the education system to be successful? There has been an attack on public education here in our state and across our country, and that leads to children winding up in the school to prison pipeline. I don't support abolishing prisons, but I do support ending for-profit prisons, which also, when you look at it and look at some data points, you will see that there have been a lot of people that have died inside of these for-profit prisons, or you have seen there's a lot of waste and abuse and fraud within these private prisons, for-profit prisons. And so those are the types of things that I'm against.
God.
Yeah, they like to use the waste, fraud, and abuse for
God,
things that.
goddamn.
Yeah.
Damn, she's good. God
She's good.
damn, we got
one.
we got us one that can talk to these white people and disarm them. Oh boy. Oh man. Hey, we always tell our women, we always tell our women, we revere you. We love you. We stand by you. We support you. It is how you present yourself to us that will be able to uplift you and put you on a pedestal. This platform, how she's speaking, she's not docile. She's not a pushover. She's not stammering over her words. She's not backing down from her positions, but she is soft. You know what I'm saying? Like she's soft. She's the only woman on a 6-panel fucking thing, and she's a woman. The femininity is exuberating through the screen right now.
Obviously, they're there to interview her, so she's the main person. But she's
correct, but
very
still
much leading the conversation, even with the
exactly, bro. And how she's leading it is very in the sense of, come with me. Come with me.
Let me thoroughly explain.
Not go there. Not go over there and look what I'm doing. It's come with me. And that, bro, you leading a lot of horses to water that want to drink. Honestly.
Yeah. And me, I'm knowing myself in some days to like a little bit of roughness in my chick sometimes, but I also understand the disarmingness, the how do not like there's a word for it. There's when a woman is soft and sweet, there's something it does to a man that just we can't resist. You know, it's just we just can't resist.
We're able to be subsidiary. We're able to, again, we're listening, we're attentive, right? All the things that that is a complaint about is that pierces through that Teflon of a man, right? They are attentive to the words that she's saying, and to be quite honest, she's a woman of accountability that when they're going to look to see if she's about what she's about, it's going to check out and it's going to make them be like, oh, she a quote unquote real one. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that's going to be substantial.
I'm really proud for how she handles herself in this meeting. But when I talk about the toughness, she also has a side of her as a fighter too. And we're going to get to that in a second, but let's finish this clip.
Damn. Now understand something, y'all. Florida is it's a very, very difficult state now. It's just viewed as a right-wing state, period, full stop. So it's almost like there's all upside, no downside. Because if Angie Nixon loses the race, everybody's going to go, yeah, well, what'd you expect? It's Florida. Like, Republicans now dominate Florida up and down, right? But if she wins, or even if she comes within 10 points or 5 points, it's going to be viewed as like, holy shit, maybe the DSA types are more electable than the centrists. Because I guarantee you, however Angie Nixon does, is going to be way better than Vindman could have done in a general election with his boring ass and not much support. So it really is all upside here because it's a very difficult state. She's not expected to win, but she's letting it rip, bro. She's letting it all hang out. She's going for it. And, these answers are absolutely phenomenal. All right, then we get another question. Notice, what did I tell you, man? This is how it works. If you're endorsed by DSA or you're just a left-flank candidate, the only trick that the establishment uses is they go to the least popular positions in the DSA platform, ignore the majority that are popular, right? But they'll ask you about the unpopular policies and just clonk you over the head with that repeatedly. But again, she's handling this masterfully.
Support open borders into the United States?
I support a comprehensive and clear pathway to citizenship for folks. I believe that Border Patrol should make sure that they are securing the border. I believe, though, that there needs to be a clear, comprehensive, and compassionate pathway to citizenship, especially for folks like Haitians and Venezuelans and Syrians. The Haitian community here in our state contribute over $2.6 billion to our economy. And not only that, it's not only just about their labor, it's actually about the culture that they bring here. They are amazing people. And so there needs to be a clear pathway to citizenship, especially if their country is still so unstable. I mean, the Department of State has issued warnings to people traveling over to Haiti. And so how can we be okay with ending TPS status for folks if we say that Americans shouldn't go back there or go visit? And so I, again, support a clear and compassionate, comprehensive pathway to citizenship, as well as making sure that our borders are secure.
I mean,
I'm glad that they're letting her fully explain her current platforms, because if this was Fox News, they would cut her off immediately and say, well, what do you mean? No, just answer the question, goddamn it. That's how they act over there. It's really fucked up. But they're actually allowing her to clearly, ask the question clearly, let her ride, and let her give her full answer. When she talks about the Venezuelans and the Haitians and the cultures and Syrians, these are the people that are her constituents down there in Florida. Florida is very multicultural, and yeah, Sakbase, Mabule, So I think that, these are the people that will come out in droves if she supports them and if she's somebody that sees them, Would Lindman have seen them? I don't know. I really don't know, but I think Lindman would lean more into the conservative side of let me pull people away from the Republicans rather than her. She's like, let's gather around all of our Democratic supporters and let's rally to the polls the way we did with Andrew Gillum. But if this is a bigger, wave, she has a shot. She really does have a shot. Let me tell you something. What's her name? Who's she going up against? Moody?
Moody. Moody.
She has not won a race. She was gifted this seat in the Senate after Marco Rubio went to play, Secretary of State for Trump. She was handed in this seat. She's never been in a political race. So this is obviously she has the leg up. But if they're in a debate, which I would love to see, I'm curious of how that would actually go. I'm curious on how that would actually go. I would love to see these two women in an actual debate.
You know what? If it happens, when it happens, I'll report on it. I'll report on it. I'll watch it. I will report on it. I'll report on it. Right now, Ashley Moody is on blackwatchvote.com. I mean blackvotewatch.org. Ashley Moody right here. She opposes reparations. Her donor conflict is compromised. She's the co-architect to the Florida's anti-DEI agenda, targeting Black Floridians. As Florida Attorney General under DeSantis, Moody was a key enforcer of Florida's Stop Woke Act and anti-DEI legislation. Explicitly anti-DEI legislation laws explicitly designed to remove race-conscious hiring, education, and programs that disproportionately benefit Black Floridians. She defended these laws in court and used her office to the advantage to broader rollback of civil rights protections in the state. She defended Florida's voter suppression laws as Attorney General, and Moody's office defended that Florida's sweeping 2021 voter suppression law in federal court. That law opposed new restrictions on mail voting, drop boxes, and third-party voter registration that federal courts found disproportionately burdened Black voters. She argued in favor of these restrictions even after the courts found discriminatory impact. So she is not it. She's not the one. And I will do my best to scream to the mountaintops to anybody that I can in Florida to vote for Angela Nixon, because this lady right here, Ashley Moody, listen, she spent 6 years as Florida Attorney General. using her office to dismantle civil rights protections for Black Floridians, defending voter suppression laws, and again, attempting to overturn an election in states where Black voters were decisive. She was appointed to the Senate in January of 2025, and she, again, has not ran against... She had this primary. I can't lie. She had this primary. She ran against Chris Gleason, Ernest Rivera, Neelan Perry, from what I understand. Those were the people within the race against her. She won that literally in a landslide. But again, going up against Angie, I'll do all that I can. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'll do all that I can
that'd be
because
amazing. We'll
that
keep
is
tabs on if they have a debate, because even if you can go, that'd be crazy. I'm not sure where it's gonna be, but
Let
that'd be
me.
fun.
I'll find that out.
Yeah,
Live correspondence. Let me get a
Live
press
correspondence,
pass.
that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Well, let's continue with her because she gets some. We get to see some of her on the House floor.
Can't like this
when we
is
get to
it's a
that
perfect
point.
answer. We have been screaming from the top of our lungs, for the love of God, can a Democratic candidate simply make an argument that immigration is a good thing? Because right now you look at the polls, the American people already feel like immigration is a good thing because they look at the hell on earth that is the opposite approach, the MAGA approach, the like hardline anti-immigrant approach. They see that when you do that, you create a police state, and the police state cracks down on everybody. And then you have like a tyrannical system. You have people being thrown in concentration camps. You have torture. You have rape. You have CCOT. You have all this shit, concentration camps. And so like we've been screaming, for the love of God, stop playing defense, Democrats. Go on the offense. Say, hey, what if immigration is a good thing? Full stop. Like, what if it's actually good? What if it's good for the culture of this country? What if it's good for the economy of this country? What if it makes us more dynamic and more intelligent and we bring over the best and the brightest? Like, what if immigration is just good? And no Democrat was willing to say it until Angie Nixon. She's not afraid of her own shadow, and she stood 10 toes down, and she puffed her chest out, and she said, here's what I actually think about this issue. No, I don't want to abolish the border, but what I do want is people to acknowledge that immigration is a good thing and that we actually should be, welcoming for the most part. Of course, you could always say violent criminals, not welcome. I'm fine with that. I think most leftists are fine with that. Most people are fine with that. But outside of violent criminals, like, what are we doing? No, welcome people. Of course. That's what made this country great. We are a nation of immigrants. I fucking love that answer. She's special, bro. She really is. Then I won't play this clip for you, but Morning Joe, as you already got a taste of, they somehow managed to not have a meltdown over Angie Nixon's upset victory, as Clipping Wing says, quote, the two main races in Florida for Democrats involve somebody who became a member of DSA in June and a former Republican congressman. That's David Jolly, who won for the primary for governor. And he's going to go up against Byron Donalds.
You got a choice for governor between basically two Republicans, unfortunately. One's the Republican turned into a Democrat, and then the black dude who's a straight up coon down there. So they're going to take over for Ron DeSantis. So unfortunately, this is the choice we have.
And by the way, I'll say right now, I think David Jolly is probably going to win that race. I think, if I'm being real with you, I think the reason why Byron Donalds is almost certainly going to lose is because of the racism of Florida Republicans. I think a lot of them will just sit out and not vote for the black guy for governor, and David Jolly. And you have the pro-Democrat environment throughout the country now because of how bad Trump is. So I think David Jolly is a fucking shoe-in to win that governor's race, if I'm being honest with you.
So that means
but
that
anyway,
the governor could be blue, technically. I mean, let's call him purple because he used to be Republican. But he's under Democratic ticket. And then if you get the Senate, Florida got some pull on the Democratic side. Just saying.
The point he's making is, look, this is the Democratic Party's Big Tent. So you got somebody who was a former Republican who's running as the Democratic governor candidate, and you have Angie Nixon, a DSA candidate, and he's happy about that, and he's like supportive of that idea. But again, as I said, then why did you go on a crusade against Hassan Piker and lie about him the other day? Why have you been smearing Abdul by extension? Angie Nixon has politics that are probably to the left of Abdul, but Angie's okay and Abdul isn't. Like, there's just no consistency. And it's all like, it's because he doesn't know dick about Hassan. And like, he consumed Hassan in like out of context clips and then, melted down for no fucking reason whatsoever. But anyway, just tremendous stuff here. For her to win over the Morning Joe audience is really a phenomenal sign. Now, take a look at this. Angie Nixon was one of two members of the Florida House to call for a ceasefire in Palestine in 2023. I believe it was early November 2023. So a month in, before so many people, she realized in about a month, oh, this is a genocide that Israel is doing. So she immediately calls for a ceasefire, okay? And here, I'll play some of this video for you. Listen.
We are at 10,000 dead Palestinians. How many will be enough? One of my colleagues just said all of them. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
One of my colleagues said all of them. One of my colleagues also stated that this is going to dry up their fundraising if we vote on this resolution.
Oh.
I also want that, like, that's what we've become in this state. That's what we've become in this state, where we don't care about innocent babies that don't even get the opportunity to blow out their first birthday candle.
She's a real one, man. When she said how many dead Palestinians would be enough, somebody responded, all of them, in the Florida State House. But she was a real one out there early saying, it's time for a ceasefire. Okay, here she was. And here she's protesting Florida's unconstitutional seat-stealing redistricting.
Come on.
This is what a real one looks like, y'all. This is what it looks like when you're a
disruption.
politician, but you actually give a shit and you actually care about the issues and you actually fight. This is what it looks like. Now, here she is giving her victory speech after securing the Democratic nomination.
And believing a mother shouldn't have to work 3 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads is extreme. They call me extreme. But where I come from, right here in Duval, these things are not radical. They're not extreme. This is just basic human decency. It's caring for our neighbors. And I don't know about you, but I was taught to love my neighbors. That's what guides me. Some folks like Ashley Moody like to claim the mantle of morality, yet their actions tell a very different story. But we put actions behind our words. So Ashley Moody can call it whatever she wants. She can call us whatever she wants. But in November, she will call me sinner.
Drop the fucking mic. Drop the fucking mic, bro. Come on now. That gotta make you feel good. Watching Angie talk her shit on there. Come on now. Oh wait, 1 second. I wanted to show her bookstore real quick. She has a bookstore.
She's an entrepreneur and a union leader. And look, she has a bookstore and a cafe. It's called Cafe Resistance. Look at this.
The state of Florida doesn't want this bookstore to exist. Come inside and check out why. In 2022, Governor Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 1467, and Florida became the state with the most book bans in the country. So I stocked the books they tried to pull off the shelves, and Cafe Resistance was born. They banned the truth, so we put it right here in the community. Free tutoring, coffee, and the books they don't want kids to read. This isn't my bookstore.
This
is our
nigga
bookstore.
gonna make me drive to
You're doomer
Jacksonville.
pilling, and we have
Goddamn.
Angie Nixon running for U.S. Senate, winning primaries.
That's crazy.
You're doomer pilling, and these are the people coming up in the Democratic Party. I don't want to hear shit from the anti-electoralist types. I mean, that is just the most cucked shit of all time if you're anti-electoralist in this moment. Are you kidding me? This is phenomenal, bro. And then finally, we'll end on this note here, okay? Byron Donalds came out and said after he won his primary that he and James Fishback will be, quote, working together to defeat David.
Oh, fuck this dude. They're just racist. And Byron
So
Donalds
the general election U.S. Senate debate for Florida is scheduled for Tuesday, October 13th from 7 to 8 p.m. So I will be watching it before the podcast.
Where is
And
it?
it's going to be in Boca. It's going to be at Florida Atlantic University, FAU. and it's going to be in Boca, and it is not to the general public. I already looked. Cannot directly purchase tickets or walk into or attend. I have to either be
Because
an
they would sway it so much. If
I,
they were
I,
in
I have to be a campaign invitee, a sponsor representative,
Okay.
or credentialed media. So I do not have the opportunity
they want
to go
this.
there.
All they want. They don't want nobody like, yeah. They don't want the crowd to go crazy for Angie. But yeah, October 13th, put it in the freaking calendar. Angie Stone. Sorry, Angie Stone. Angie Nixon. Angie Nixon will be going up against Miss Jolly. Not Jolly. Get them mixed up.
Miss Moody,
Moody.
you really, yo, listen to this nigga
I'm
fucking
mixing up all their names.
you see this nigga
Angie Stone
saying
and Alex Jolly. Oh man, but yeah, Angie Nixon and the Moody chick.
Ashley Moody.
There you go.
Oh man.
That's gonna be must watch TV.
Yes.
Come on, let's go. But I just want to just introduce y'all to Angie Nixon because she hasn't got much coverage and she still pulls it off.
And Chidi, I sent in the Discord. Comprehensive criminal justice reform. So I sent that to you. So if you wanted to look at that, pull that up, or just so people just have an idea again, what that is when we're, because again, that is going to be the biggest part of the race for me. For me, to your point, we literally just had the conversation. Literally last night, our latest episode, we said defund the police. I say don't. Oh, we got chats.
Oh, we got chats.
We got chats. We got chats.
On
We got chats. On YouTube.
Okay. Glasses, turn your mic up or move it closer. Okay.
All right, Hassan talk everywhere. Jesus. Israel says all of them. Imagine if 1864 about abolitionists were recorded and we had to hear the slave owners' response. I felt her anger. She is black excellence. You muted yourself now. He said, "Motherfucker, you muted yourself now."
I didn't mute myself. What happened was my mic has a bad wire on my mic, man. It has a bad wire. I'm trying to fix it. But this mic, I gotta get a new mic. That just comes down to it. But thank you, collapsitism. I can't even pronounce that bitch. Collapitalism.
Y'all got some names on y'all.
Y'all got some names on y'all. But yeah, man, I really, really think that she is black excellence, as you say. I really, collapsilence. I figured. Collapse Catalan. I feel you. I figured.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, I'm super charged up for Angie Nixon, and we're gonna check out her debate in October 13th. But I think by the end of the midterms, whether she wins or loses, she's gonna be a huge star in the DSA, and she'll be a huge star in the Democratic Party. Let's be real. Like, this is where the future is going for Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, as of today, we saw Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer. They don't fight for nothing. They don't have a real vision.
But see, that's my thing. But see, this is where I get a little angst, right? We talk about AOC being able to take over Chuck Schumer's spot. Again, that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries tag team is going to be just Hakeem Jeffries and AOC. If we do not establish that there is a real challenge to Hakeem Jeffries, then we as a caucus will be kind of stuck, will be limited. There will be a glass ceiling that we won't be able to shatter through.
What's up, Rich? We see you in the chat. Yeah, you know what it is? I feel like it's gonna come down to, I think Hakeem gotta just bow out. I think at some point, I don't know. He should resign. He should resign. Like, he doesn't. What would be the
hold on. What would be the incentive to that when he again, as a black
You can't
man,
lead the house this way. When we don't fuck with what you're doing, the direction, you don't even have a direction. You are like, oh, we should add more
no,
credits to the ACA.
he's not going to resign. Somebody has to take that. Somebody has to take that. Somebody has it. There's too much power. There's too much power. And we just had this conversation, right? We talk about Drake and all that bullshit. But when we talk about influence and power, he is going to be the voice of the Democratic caucus, my guy. That power is, and if we take it, if we control it, he's able to steer the ship however it needs to be.
I've only seen him passionate about AIPAC, and you know, that's the only thing I've seen him actually fight for, is for protecting Zionism. Every time you see him, he looks sleepy. He looks tired. It's like a matter of fact, he doesn't care that Donald Trump wants to run in 2028. They asked him about it. He's like, yeah, he's trying to troll us. He's putting the hat on this. They took a picture of him in the White House where Donald Trump has the 2028 hat on his desk, kind of like just fucking with him. Like it's a show of like subservience to this, like right in front of you. They're playing in your face. The Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. You guys have no balls.
I'm sorry, collapsism. We can't wait 2 election cycles. Honestly, So in the chat, he says, "Hear me out on that." Schumer.
We're not seeing the big picture. So what do you? I want to know, what do you think the big picture is? Because I think.
Well, What's the big picture? Because he said. He said he thinks he also says, or they, I don't want to, they also say, I think people think too small about AOC, right? So for me, I don't know. I think we had I don't know if he was, I don't think he was here with us yesterday. Yesterday, we had a real kind of passionate conversation about, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, about AOC, where I believe that she wants more. I believe that she wants more. My partner here, Chidi, does not believe that her aspiration is to achieve going further than where she's at, because he believes that.
That's not true. I think that. Okay. What we're talking about was, does she need to make her goal the presidency or Senate to achieve what she wants to do? I think that the way her approach is not based on this of an ego thing where she needs to be president. It's not based off of, I need to be senator. She's like, if I can find a way to get Medicare for all passed, I achieve my goal. And now that path might take her through becoming leader in the Senate or leader of the free country as president. But it's not. Everybody keeps asking, "Are you going to run? Are you going to run? Are you going to run?" She's not there yet. Personally, I think that she will get there when we get closer to the race.
But she needs run. She needs to say, "I want the Senate seat."
All right, he's saying Senate. He's saying Senate.
Yeah, she's not there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just say okay. I don't know if he's agreeing or he's like asking, but yeah, I mean, you said she's not there, but for me, Schumer is looking to your point. He says Schumer will pass the torch when more progressive have power. I don't believe that we will have. I don't know what more power will be if it's not taking over Jeffrey's seat. And then by that time, 2 election cycles, Schumer should be, you know what I'm saying, out of here. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? Collapsitism. I felt like she should take the Senate too. That's what I felt like.
Look what he says. The establishment has a plan for her, and she's playing ball. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said, bro.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I was saying that she is playing the game. No. That's what I was saying. You were saying that she's gonna. You were saying that almost like she's turning into Hakeem Jeffries and she's gonna be a part of the establishment.
That's playing ball. The establishment has a plan for her.
If that's what you are saying, if that's what Collapse is saying, I disagree with you. What I'm saying is,
okay.
These are her coworkers. She goes in with Hakeem Jeffries on the House floor. She got people she talks to. She understands how to now play a political strategy now. I think that she will not go against Medicare for all her entire career. If she does, I'm off of AOC. Real talk. But I think that she's also against getting money out of politics. I don't think AOC is the type of person that's gonna now, because the establishment, she's cool with them a little bit, is gonna change her policy and her way what she's trying to fight for. I don't see her that way. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't see her that way. And I think that what you see her as is that she could change her perspective and change the way she changes. I think that she's changed the way she talks about what she wants to do, and that's the political game. That's diplomacy. But I don't think that she's not a fighter. I don't think she's not trying to get what she wants done. I think she's backing Ramdani and the people in New York that she knows she wants to bring in to fight with her.
So in the chat, he says, I don't think her playing ball is a bad thing. You cannot be a wrecking ball in Congress, especially with no power. And then it says she's not going to change policy, but she will play ball till she has the power. That's the agreement between the leftists and the establishment. So
it's just pretty much wait. That's what you're saying. The establishment's telling the leftists, wait your turn, basically.
Just wait your turn. Okay.
My thought process is that they're telling them to chill the fuck out. Because everywhere I see Chuck Schumer today was calling out Abdul Saeed. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you want the Republican to win? I think the establishment rather lose to they're getting paid to lose to the Republicans. That's my thought process. And I think the DSA makes them look bad, or the progressives just make them look bad. And they don't want to, and they want to quell that in the party because they don't have a vision themselves.
Well, this is why I say this is why I say there will be a split within the Democratic Party. There has to be, because there's no alignment. There's no alignment between the establishment and the progressives. There is no alignment with that, because the establishment will take the money. The establishment will take the falls, right? In the boxing terminology, they will throw the fight just to, again, save face, hold the seat wherever they're at in their district, and not have no real power.
I don't listen, Collapse. I don't trust anybody who's getting paid from AIPAC like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries to say, yeah, just hold your turn. You're gonna get power soon. That's not what I think is going on. I think what's going on is they also feel the wave of people angry about the economy. They feel the wave of people angry about them being do-nothing Democrats that they lost, with Kamala Harris, and they're like, okay, people are upset, but we cannot go against the people who got us here, which is our donors, which is our corporate donors, people who are funding pharmaceutical industry, the private healthcare, AIPAC, of course. These things that all the messaging behind these progressive fighters who are saying they're going against everything that pays their fucking bills or pays their candidates, or gives them the leverage they have to run and be that powerful in our government. It's a real infrastructural change that the progressives want, and I think that makes these guys look bad, and it goes against the entire way things run in the Congress, in Congress, Senate, and House. So that's why I think it's not just, hey, work with us and then eventually you will get your time. I think they want to snuff out the flame, and that's my opinion.
I mean, that's fair. I don't trust anyone either. I've worked with these people. Link your Discord. Both of y'all are correct in different ways. All right, you know what you
just definitely subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Please, we're getting things in order.
Our own Discord.
Yeah, we're getting things in order right now.
Absolutely. We're getting things in order right now. Please show up and pay attention, because we should actually do a video where we release the Discord separately, so that should pop up on our channel in the upcoming weeks. And we're attaching a Patreon that's free with a newsletter. So just stay tuned for that. We're getting all together. We are a new operation here. We are trying to grow small by small, little by little. We started in May, so we're just trying to, and we've had a crazy month. So it's been a lot of work, but we're getting things together. I appreciate your support, though. I really do. Thank you. But yeah, man.
All right, he said we're good, or they said you just don't understand the powers. That's why you aren't seeing the bigger picture.
Okay.
You are correct about a lot. He said we're all good. Just wanted to link all my sources and and send us out. So, yo,
Okay,
this
I
is
would
our
love that.
get yo, this is what's up, bro. This made this show. Honestly, if we clip the show right now, this is a great show, man.
I'll tell you right now. Thank you, Collapse. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Me and him are coming here as ignorant people. I want you to know we're not here coming from a soapbox. We're not telling people how to think. We just want to ask to have the conversation on this platform. We are not coming here as people who think they know everything. But we see the tea leaves, we read what we see, we pay attention to the news, we pay attention to the articles, and we make our own assumptions on things, and we try to just start a conversation. So I really do appreciate you joining the conversation and having that discourse with us, because we're still learning and we're still growing too. But we are definitely passionate about the future of this country, passionate about our politics, passionate about a lot of things and discussions, and we'd love to have you a part of that. So as we continue to grow, we're going to make the Discord, all that stuff, and I hope you're a part of that as we go on this journey.
Yo, this is fun, and you know what, yo, Chidi, you know what this means to us.
He said he learned he wasn't black today. What do you mean that? What you mean? Speaking of being black, we got a conversation about that coming up. But real quick, Chris, what are you gonna say?
No. What all I was saying was the way that this is happening, right? As far as us being, we decided to educate the ignorant ourselves, right? We started this just to see if we can offer something to ourselves to grow. And the reason why we want to do that is because we have a generation behind us that will clearly be dumb as a box of rocks if we don't leave them. Goddamn. I mean,
we didn't do our homework, but you think they're gonna do their homework?
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. So we gotta leave it in the candy. You know what I'm saying? Damn near, you know. But I do believe that in this digital age, in this digital space, you know, us having the ability to outreach and have resources that can, you know, be able to broaden our horizons with knowledge, man. This is fantastic. Off of the humbug of us just, again, shooting the shit. We came here, we had little pre-pro about this conversation, and it leads to something that will probably be able to enhance us more than we can even imagine right now.
100%.
So
100%.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
Stay down, and we just, you know, show our passion, and we continue to, you know, have these conversations, and we'll see this grow, change, and we can educate along the way. But I'm so, like, it's so crazy, apropos Collapse, that you are talking about being black, because our next topic speaks directly to this conversation of being black. I've heard of Destiny. I don't know what he said. I don't really watch him like that because he seems kind of weird to me. But we got a conversation where we want to talk about the diaspora when it comes to the 154 podcast. Godfrey and Akbar Baja had on Van Lathan talking about this diaspora conversation that's been going on between Black Americans, Caribbeans, Africans, and what it means to be Black in America and how the conversation has evolved. And I think that right now we are having some little bit of a awakening or a conversation of growth within the Black community, you know, across America, if you were paying attention. So we'll get into that right now. Let me share that real quick because there are a couple of clips I want to talk about.
This is the way I look at the diaspora.
Hold up. Let me show you. Is this one? Let me watch this one first. We'll go to that in a second.
Outside to go see the minister. You know what I'm saying? So I was really James Baldwin, I read everything. Yeah. And then yet you got people saying you're a terrorist. Right. I go, I mean, I was Chicago police. I get harassed by cops, called the N-word in school. It goes back to the book Carter Woodson, like
Carter G. Woodson, Miseducation of the Negro. And I think miseducating us on one end, when I say here here in the States, and then even in Africa, because they're not teaching about Harriet Tubman. I see you got the piece, and I'm like, that's not a core focal point, right? And so there's two different worlds we're living in, and then when we do call crossover and then we translate, there's a lack of grace that I see on both sides, and we'll get into some of these other topics as well. That but what are your thoughts on that? And how do we bring and bridge and unify the diaspora?
Big questions, but legitimately to me, some of the central questions we should be asking ourselves right now. I'll say a couple of things. Number one is I think there's a reason why you're seeing that happen more now than ever before. First of all, anti-blackness has become a worldwide tradition.
Yes.
It's not even, it's no longer structural. There's a cultural tradition of anti-blackness. Most cultures, even like cultures that have themselves been persecuted, have a word.
No doubt.
They have a word to say in their culture.
That's right.
They have a word to say. Now, particularly, it's been my understanding that when they use that word, a lot of times that word is focused at the Black American.
Yep.
A lot of times, not all the time, right? But a lot of times there's a specific burden sometimes, at least that I feel as a Black American, and that's because my culture is to be harvested and not to be invested into. So my culture can be harvested by anyone. It can be harvested as a Black American by other Black people from around the world. But there's not an investment that has to be made into it. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like you can harvest my culture, you can dress or act or behave as I behave, and then go and do something completely else that I can't access. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can't do the things that you would do as a Nigerian or as a Jamaican or anything like that. Those are you guys' culture. And in order for...
But why wouldn't you? But I push back on that. Absolutely you could.
Well, I'm not saying that I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying that
I get where you're coming from. No.
I'm not saying that I couldn't. I'm saying that
it's like
that
free,
is foreign.
it's like,
You're saying that it's foreign.
Black American culture is like free domain.
It's free.
Like free domain. There's no protection over it.
Because and so what you see a lot of times is people, in my opinion, in a way that's not always the most nutritious way, try to establish some cultural protection on what it means to be Black American. Saying that we have our own culture, that we've established, our own thing that we've established, and that is also sacred to us. Now, what I don't think is that there should be anything that happens to where we get out of cultural sharing as Black people. Black was co-opted by Black people. It was invented by somebody else, but co-opted by Black people so that we could be strong. So that Black power, solidarity, Pan-Africanism, all of that stuff, so that we could be stronger and so that we could establish a set of ethics and values that allow us to care about one another. But I think it's also important for us to remember, and I can't get into specifically the feelings and experiences of you guys and some of the things you might have experienced from Black Americans, some of the differences that might go on even on the continent or in the diaspora, right? And I also shouldn't try. What I should try to do is understand that we are facing things in this world that don't know that you're different than me, that don't understand that there's anything different. And those things and the tradition that we establish trying to fight them have to be together. But that doesn't mean, this is the way I look at the diaspora. I think the best way to do it is like, the best way to go about this is how do we talk about each other when the other person is not in the room? Like, how do I talk about my Nigerian brothers, my Jamaican brothers, my brothers from the islands, my brothers from South America when they're not around? Do I talk about them as if they are me? Or do I seek to set cultural limits and exclusions from them?
So when you talk about what's being said in conversations behind closed...
I think he's very, very wise. I think that Van Lathan is very, very wise in how he presents the conversation, because I think that and I think me and you talked about it, protecting Black American culture is extremely important. And like I say, like, your ancestors are my ancestors in a way, even though they're, I am a first generation Nigerian American. Your family goes back to, I'm sorry, you said that your family's originally from how far back can you trace it? Because I don't want to misrepresent the space that you were
no, my as far back as I can know, all I know is that I know where my grandparents is from. They from Selma, Alabama.
Selma,
That's right. That's where I know my grandparents is from.
So when I look at your family and when you talk about their experiences in Selma and the civil rights movement, I have a reverence for that. And in my culture, you look up to your elders no matter what. So when he says looking at people as if how you talk about them when you're down and not around, and looking at them as you rather than this divide, I think that's a step in the right direction. But I believe that we try to put these boxes and labels on us while there's a fight that's oppressing all of us. And I think that's what I'm trying to get to, is that I want to be able to acknowledge the importance of Black American culture at all times, while acknowledging the importance of different cultures across the globe, and still acknowledging that we are also together in this fight for the anti-blackness that we face everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go on the globe. No one likes us, or everybody tries to demean us everywhere you go.
So is he in the chat says, I don't think it should be used like that. We don't say white culture when referring to hillbilly or rednecks.
That's interesting, because when he says that they created Black culture, even though they adopted it because they were given that, to then make something you can identify, it makes sense, because finally you have an in group. Actually, let me see if I can get another clip of him, because he kind of puts it in perspective of how whenever I say, there's no Black culture and all that stuff. No, not Black culture. Don't get me wrong. There's no Black. No, I said there's no Black culture. There's Black American culture. That's what I said. There's no Black culture. There's Black American. So let me just get this Van Lathan clip. But because culture to me comes from a locale and space where you are originated from, or where you gathered in groups to identify yourself with a traditions, and that's why I would get it in my brain. But he kind of puts the two into perspective in this clip over here. I'm not sure where in the pod he said it, but I'm not sure who they're talking about specifically, but they're talking about somebody, about whether they're Black or whether they're American. Oh my
I
God.
went to the Harry
Keep
Tubman.
changing.
He is not a Black American.
Right.
He's an American Black man.
Okay.
So
What's the difference?
Yeah.
How are you distinguishing the difference?
So the way I distinguish the difference is this. We're all Black.
Yep.
Yes.
He is American by nationality, right?
Yes.
So that makes him an American Black man. I feel like where we trip each other up a lot of times is that when I say Black American, what I mean is that my ancestral home is South Louisiana.
Right on.
Like, that's my ancestral home.
Right on.
My lineage and my origin, as is the rest of the world's, is African. And I think there's a lot of humanity and a lot of understanding that's to be taken from that.
Yeah.
It's very important that Black people know that there is a lineage and a history that predates white supremacy.
Yeah.
That predates the invention of the word Black to describe you as Black.
That's right.
You just have to know that, because if you don't know that, then white people invented you. And so that's not the way that it happened. As a matter of fact, it's probably more accurate that you invented them. But the reality of the situation is, as far as my culture, what I am, that was established by old Black people from South Louisiana that had to reinvent a culture on the fly in some of the harshest, most dire circumstances. Yep. I honor them by honoring their cultural technology. That's not to be different or to set myself apart from worldwide diasporic Blackness. He is not a Black American.
I love that. I love that when you put that. I love when you put that.
Okay. That's pretty fire. And in the chat, he said Black culture is referring to Black Americans. That's how we use it here in America, and that's true. You know what I mean? Again, to his point, southeast Louisiana, I'm from Selma, Alabama, Dallas County from my lineage, but I would never disrespect and say that I don't have blood lineage that comes from Africa. I just don't know of that culture. I grew up in American culture. Like again, to the point of white supremacy, right? My people had to learn on the fly how to create a culture, how to create that while they're in the Vietnam War. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is how I grew up and now identify myself. And to that point, that is the indoctrination that people adapt. Right, when we speak about, when we have our conversation about Drake or whatever the case may be, and I said he learned some of this stuff from American culture. You know what I'm saying? This American culture of get money, capitalize over people, step on people, whatever the case may be. He learned that because as it has been done in Black culture, it has only learned post white supremacy as how they controlled the masses. You know what I'm saying?
So you realize that there's so much more to Black culture, that he could have picked from, too.
No. I know, but I understand. But when we are outside with our gang bang, you know what I'm saying? Like that is tribal things that we took from African culture that we just now extrapolated into something that is negative. You see what I'm saying? So capitalism isn't negative. It's just the extreme capitalism, right? That we speak of. So that is not also a Black American culture. That is an American culture. But for those that we idolize from Black American culture of drug dealers or, ball players who hasn't academically that aren't academic scholars in themselves, like we don't revere the nature of that other side that you speak of. So that is where the disconnect comes from.
I hear a lot of people that they don't want to be called African. They don't even want to be called African American, because to me that's the more appropriate term for Black Americans. It's African Americans. Because we're not really black skinned. They just call us Black to give us a label, right? And white people are not technically white skinned. They just like to put people in boxes, right? I think that I am not necessarily African American, even though I am an African in America. I'm specifically Nigerian American, like because my culture comes specifically from Nigeria. Like that's when I grew up in my family.
There's 54. There's 54. I'm not Ghana American. I'm from Nigeria. My people comes from. You know what I mean.
It's Nigerian American. I think that I think of African American is a term because you guys are all like lineage from Africa, but it's there's a distance in that because of obviously the circumstances that have built this country, with the transatlantic slave trade. And there was also a lot of people that came here to work through that weren't necessarily slaves, but were still treated the same way in segregation and Jim Crow along that freaking 400 years, but I look at it from a standpoint of we are taught so much that we have to unlearn, and we have to live in the truth that we are distant cousins that need to be reunited so that we can have more say and more power. There's this whole like white replacement theory thing. They're so scary to white people because just in the future, just normally it's going to be more homogenous, and they want to have the dominance over pretty much everywhere,
But that all depends though for me too, because we have a subset, because we also are talking about foundational white Americans, right? Or now we're talking about the people who control the APAC money Americans, right? Or we have Italian Americans from immigrant, like, you know what I mean? Like, so there is a very wide range of cultural difference. So now that we have somebody in the chat that's very active, I would like to ask this question because you see what he just wrote in the chat, right?
He's right.
Okay, so he said, who cares about the terms? Call me the hard R if it gets me universal health care and Medicaid for all, universal daycare, and etc. So, I want to ask this question because remember I asked you. We did the math. What would be how much money would it cost America to reset and give everybody from the and I think we've done a little bit of that math a little bit on the show. And I wanted to ask right now, since we got somebody here in the chat, if America decides to close the wealth gap to you right now, you, your family, everybody that you know of, and it says, we're going to close the wealth gap and give you a 20%, 30% bump to give you back, so it's not all just the wealth gap. You have something that and we'll give you some land. Will that be enough for us to then now set the mark even and then go from there? Because
basically
that seems
reparations. Would you listen? How much would cost for you to be like, all right, I'm good with reparations? What would they have to give every single black person for us to be like, okay, that we're not going to talk about slavery anymore? Basically, because to me, I think where he's talking a little bit more comments up, he says, well, admit we code switch. Capitalism has kept black culture down. To me,
come on,
just us taking money and land doesn't change much. It does help. Don't get me wrong. It helps, and it gets to the point where we're like, okay, you've repaid us for the work we built this country with, and now we're at an even playing field. But
okay, he already answered. No. We have to fundamentally change the system underneath it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's where I was getting at. So that's what I was thinking. So yeah, like it seems. Rich says the same thing. He said a bunch of say what he said. There's still resources that need to be changed. I'm saying this. Okay. I think we should have both. I think that give every black person $1 million and a little bit of land, and say, if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. Go for it. Now, to be honest with you, foundational black Americans, you don't gotta give me $1 million. I'm just gonna take half of Chris's. I'm joking, but I'm sure Chris got me though. No, but listen, foundational black Americans. Listen, you don't gotta give me and my family $1 million, but every black person whose family can trace their lineage back to slavery, give them all $1 million. Give them all $1 million, and they're cutting us off at the legs. They're cutting us off at the legs right now. They're saying right now, do not give poor people money. Equity, not equality. It's not a dollar amount. It's about equity. No matter the race. What does equity look like for black communities today, for foundational black Americans?
But also
equity, right? But that's less land. That's what I'm thinking.
But I also want to expand that, because as we say foundational black Americans or black Americans, as we are making this, what would be to get, again, now if we're talking about building a better system, if he's talking about all poor people, now what does that now extrapolate to all poor people? Like how do we take back the power, or how do we take back the majority?
It's crazy, because every time we have people in the chat, they are saying the same shit that we're saying, but almost even more extreme. People want to get. I've been about it, cause socialism.
Revolt.
Revolt.
Not turn around this motherfucker. Not turn a rebellion around this motherfucker.
So equity looks like having basic needs taken care of. I'm not saying no dollars would. I still want my 40 acres and a mule. Okay. I don't want no mule. I'll take the 40 acres though. I'll tell you that. I don't know.
Nigga, if a mule is a couple $100,000, I'll take the 40 acres and a couple $100,000.
Give me 40 acres and a G-Wagon. I'll be all right.
Nigga, a G-Wagon with this gas? Nigga, give me 40 acres in a motherfucking
Gas
tractor trailer, my nigga, with some propane. Make it solar built, nigga. Goddamn.
He said donkeys are amazing.
Donkeys are amazing.
Christian Rich said, right,
man.
a dollar amount isn't the sole answer. We need access. Access to what specifically? Shit, if they ain't a meal, give me a bull and a
I think we
cow.
need access. I think we need access to resources.
But no, I want to specifically what resources? Because let's chop this up. Because we got 4 black men here chopping it up about reparations and the black diaspora and like how things could be handled when it comes to black Americans and how we can service black people here to even the playing field where we're like, listen, you at this point, yeah, you can be racist to us, but we got what our just do. You know, he just said you can call me the hard R, but now I got what you know. This is what we done. His is Medicare for all, universal health care. I don't care if you call me the hard R if we get that. What is the resources we need? What is the specific things that we are asking for? Because if until black people come together and say, listen, we want A, B, C, D, and E, we are going to be all disorganized. And that's the biggest problem when it comes to black people is that they try to pit us against each other. They use the diaspora conversation to pit us against each other. They use all types of, culture wars. They paint Africans as, people with bones in their nose and dirty and all that stuff. They paint black Americans as people who are, thugs and all that stuff in the mainstream media. Now we're able to see through social media now that it ain't like that, and we're more like than not, and we're going through a lot of the same struggles. So now we can talk it up and be like, listen, we're all coming together. We're voting in one block for this specifically, and it could be universal health care along the lines of money out of politics, because that helps even more than just black people. Let's be real. But is there something that you guys want that's specific to black people, or is it like, listen, we just want the system to change for a just society now, or is it like let's help change the system now, or is it let's change the system and fix what you did to the foundation of black Americans for 400 years at the same time? Because I think I'm on the side of both. This country has to address slavery at some point directly, in my opinion. All right, so you said my mule can be John Deere. Okay, I'm NBPP, kind of radical. National Black. I don't. Please give me the acronym for that. Explain it for me. It's not that easy. I wish I could sum it up in one word. Racism drives the algorithm. Reinvest in black communities. Make sure we don't have broken windows policing. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Provide resources and access to critical services. Start there. But also think it applies to all communities. I think you would make it a universal project. White people won't get mad. I love that. What was I telling you, Chris, a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? I was like, why can't we not reinvest in the bottom, in the hood, for like 10 years straight? Like places that are underrepresented. The education system is bad. The infrastructure is bad. Listen, I'm driving through Poughkeepsie today, and there's abandoned buildings. I'm like, damn, I didn't know Poughkeepsie. This is like an hour away from me. I'm like, I didn't know it was like this. There's a lot of you can see drug addicts, huddled up. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know this was like this over here. But that's where I went to the school, and there's so many broken windows, and the infrastructure is messed up. And I'm like, man, like there's abandoned houses. I'm like, I didn't know it was like this, and it's just boom, right here in the middle of New York. So I'm like, why can't we reinvest in those for like a good 10 years, and then like we go back to a system where we're like, all right, let's see how it worked, and let's see if that money that we would normally funnel back into the suburban, famous college or famous, high school that has, crazy track stars coming out and football stars coming out of, if we move that money to those places for like just a decade, what would that look like? And I think that we just sit here and we ignore the poor. We ignore the disenfranchised. We ignore the education disparity in this country because it's partially part of the way it's built. almost intentionally. It feels like, So you have a populace that's angry and underserved, so that they looked at as you're not doing enough for yourself, rather than the country being a place that supports its people from the ground up and kind of raises the floor, than constantly shoveling money to the top and saying, hey, let's see if it trickles down.
New Black Panther Party,
New Black Panther, okay.
NPP. Yep.
Mhm.
And I just put in the so I think if you make a universal project, white people won't get mad. Also, I think it applies to all
Rocket
communities.
News. So I'll check them out. Rocket News. I'll add
Yeah,
right now.
I just put it in the thing. So
Okay.
I typed in we use chat, we use AI here. Is there a world where capitalism, socialism, and communism all exist to give America the utopia that we wish for? It said how they might mix. Capitalism can run small shops, new ideas in most daily businesses. It helps people work hard and make new things. Socialism can run big public needs like schools, roads, water, and healthcare, and make sure everyone has a safer start in life. Communism gives a vision of sharing basic food and shelter so no person goes without a home or a meal. Okay. It said the big problem is rule clashes. Capitalism wants private owners to keep profits. Socialism, communism want resources shared by the people. The power struggle. Giving the government total control over property can take away personal freedom. And human nature, people want different things and have different skills. A strict mix can cause arguments. Who gets what? So I just said government having total control over property is not my ideal. But what I do believe is that they should provide the social services paid by higher income through taxes. What they spat back at me is social democratic motto, right? That pairs a free market economic with a robust tax-funded social safety net. This framework relies on a highly progressive income tax structure to fund universal public service without nationalizing private property. So, what this is top personal income tax rate in this nation often range between 50 and 55%. That's a real world example. Now, I don't know what that cap of top personal income would be, but nigga, if you're a billionaire, why you can't pay 50%? You know what I mean? Like
I don't like billions as it is. 55%. I would do 99 once you get to a billion. Honestly, that's just me. I think that once you get to a billion, I think the majority of what you should be doing is to be giving back to where place that made you a billionaire. You have money enough that's gonna last you and your kids generations. So at that point, how do you help the place that helped you become that billionaire? And
so yeah, in the chat it says, yeah, we got to understand that they don't get paid in salary, which is correct.
We gotta tax stock options. We gotta
yes,
tax that shit.
I'm sorry. You got $1 billion in stock, nigga. Like, yeah, tax that too, nigga. Yeah. Okay, so which social service?
That's 999K. Exactly what I'm saying. You stop them.
Which social service do you think is most urgent?
You have $1 billion if the 1% you're getting every single year eventually gets you to $1 billion. That's fine, but you're not going to just have $1 billion in profit and us not get the lion's share of that, because you don't need that much money. You don't. No human being needs that much money. Honestly, that's going to help the freaking economy for everybody. This country's ridiculous sometimes. But yeah. So the social democracy. That's what I stand by. That's who I am. I believe that we are lazy when it comes to as a country, when it comes to defining what everything is, making sure everybody understands what everything is, and how we can pivot to make things better for the majority. I think that the ignorance is bliss. I think the ignorance is intentional to make people not question things. I think that this country has made it seem like capitalism is the only way, and acts as if there isn't a danger to capitalism. that we are living through as we are currently doing this. You cannot pay your bills, and you could have a great job. You could be a complete executive. You could be a freaking save lives, a doctor, a nurse, and you could still be able to put them in a place where you cannot pay your bills. This is not how life should be. This is not how life should be. So with that being said, we are living in a republic, really, but it's supposed to be a democracy where we can alter and amend things to alter to say, okay, this is not working right now. This amendment here, we need to alter that, make an amendment to this, make an amendment to that. Why haven't we made an amendment in like, well, how long has it been since the last amendment? It's been like, what, 30, 40 years? How?
So as we're speaking on the fly, as we're speaking on the fly, I asked, can we cap income in this country, or have we like passed the shark? Are we like too far away?
Oh shit! 34
It
years
says
exact.
it says we have not passed the shark on implementing the income cap, as the United States historically operated under functional wealth ceiling for decades. Between 1944 and 1963, the U.S. top marginal income tax rate sat above 90%. This effectively capped take-home income for ultra wealthy individuals. So, how an income cap functions in practice: the 99% tax break. Instead of making it illegal to earn more money, the government applies a near 100% tax rate past the specific threshold. Let's just say $10 million, or whatever the case may be. Any money earned beyond that point goes entirely to funding public services. Maximum wage ratio. Some modern economic proposals focus on capping corporate pay structures by law. For example, a company could be legally barred from paying its CEO more than 50 or 100 times the salary of its lowest paid worker. So that can do that. So
talking about Agora and my plan for like a company that way, that's how I want to build it. Like, this is how. Finish what you're saying. My bad.
No. You're good. Like that follows exactly what you're saying, because as we're speaking here and even our conversation through the chat, emerging political philosophies, concepts like limitarianism. I believe I'm saying that correctly. It suggests insinuating hard caps on personal net worth. This is achieved by combining aggressive wealth taxes with maximum inheritance caps. So right now in this situation, when we're asking, are we too far in the United States, because how much money and how drawn we are to capitalism, right? Whether the U.S. has passed the shark in matter of political willpower rather than economic impossibility. So that is where that is where the empath is at, right? Political willpower rather than economic impossibility. There is a way that this can work if we have the political willpower to push these policies. You know what I'm saying? So there is a historical precedent. The U.S. has radically altered its tax system before. In 1913, the top tax rate was just 7% to fund the World War II. It's aggressively raised to peak of 94%, right? And currently the global precedent, there is a model worldwide where we can literally look at, right? They prefer a stable top tax rate of roughly 50 to 55% to fund social safety nets without driving out domestic business investment. So again, there is, without a shadow of a doubt, a way for it to work. Let me get my doctor,
What?
Doctor Strange. I just saw 14,735,223 ways of doing it, and we figured it out.
I didn't know what you were doing. I thought you were having a seizure, bro. I was like, yo, do we got to stop the pod? You good?
My Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, yeah, that's hilarious, bro. But yeah. That's the way to do it, man. Your collapse is saying, tax capital gains tax, since the stock market is an indication of health of America's economy. You're right. America's economy, 91% of stocks are owned by 1% of the population. Dead ass. Capitalism goal is unlimited growth. It's
It's
cancer.
cancer. It's a cancerous.
It's a
Yeah, it's
cancer.
cancerous.
Yo, there's
It's
no
cancer.
limit. There's like infinity. It's infinite. Like the goal of capitalism is like to maximize profits, but that's not a healthy society. It's not like we have to come to the realization that
Well, if
maximizing profits is
but
not a
if
healthy
you
society.
but this goes back to my point. So if for me, right? I'm in Florida, right? Walmart makes so much money. You providing as much money as you make it to build another Walmart, you should be able to match that in social service. So if it costs you however much it costs you to pay the county to build this and get electricity and fund working and get jobs and everything like that, that is not a social service to me. You should be able to put money back into the county or wherever it is that you're building this at and be able to fund more goddamn county clerks to work, my nigga. Like, we don't need you to hire more Walmart employees. We need the economy around you to blossom and boom a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like they so in sports. In sports, they have this. They have the luxury tax, the luxury tax,
Yeah, luxury tax,
right? And in the luxury tax, you pay $3 for every dollar you're over
the cap. Yeah, in baseball, right?
Nigga, them NBA niggas is slashing contracts, cutting niggas, trading niggas. $3 over the side. You got a tax bill of $400 million. And you already paying your man, nigga, no. So, but to that point, if there wasn't a cap, you would have these owners pay a luxury tax because they will spend whatever it is to win. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you have that luxury cap. There should be a luxury cap in America. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If
These
you wanna treat
evaluations,
this like it's unlimited freaking funds. So just because you created Amazon, just because you created freaking Tesla, or, I'm not even sure if Elon Musk gets all his money from like I don't know what the fuck he be doing to get all that money. But like it's like unreal right now how things are out.
hey, they said, hey, we gotta, I love you motherfuckers, because you think matching dollar for dollar in social services and shit things are paid for. You know how many motherfuckers have never thought of that? Y'all get it. Yes, man, we get it, bro. We get it, bro. We get it. Oh, it's coming to New York City. They did a per diem tax. Pierre de
Yeah, and they had a hearing today about the pied-à-terre tax in New York over here. The people with two houses are over $500 million or $5 million. They are over here angry. Oh my God, you guys doxed us. You guys are trying to. You guys are not here to talk about it, and like they're crying over there. Meanwhile, there's a whole. It was sad. It was sad.
Yo, Chidi, do you not know you're in New York, I'm in Florida. The way that shit can move where we're at and how things like the way things are structuring and moving further south as we did just, inherit or just gain Angie Nixon.
Collapses in
You know what I'm
Kansas.
saying? Oh, come on, what's happening?
Shout out to Collapse. Yeah.
Hey, what you think? What you got on your What you got on your guy Newsom, bro? What's going over in California?
Yeah, I know Newsom, bro.
Yeah, what
I'm
you
not
got?
sure
What
if I
you?
don't trust that guy.
He might be running for president, bro.
He gonna lose. Play that.
But that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, do we need to get on? Do we need to get on the train? Like, is there a better candidate? Like, what we at? Because Gavin Newsom, he don't got no fans. He ain't got no fans at home. He ain't got no fans abroad. When I mentioned them to you right now, nigga, you just said, "Oh no, nigga." Like, so he got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Collapse also said argument, and he bets that we haven't talked to dissect how much public infrastructure and its cost these billionaires have used to make their billions. Public infrastructure and its cost that they've used to make their billions.
You know what?
Interesting.
I'm about to copy and paste that, nigga.
I was just about to do the same thing.
On my soul, nigga.
Clutch!
Let me see if I got a my
Gemini.
nigga.
Help me out here.
What that nigga Cam be talking about, nigga? Cam be talking Chat GPT Gemini. You know how much public? Let's ask that question, Brody. Let's see. While communists do not have a single definitive dollar for the exact amount of public infrastructure consumed by individual billionaires, the total value of the public system that underwrites their wealth runs into the hundreds of billions of dollars annually. Billionaires do not build their wealth in a vacuum. Their enterprises rely directly on massive taxpayer-funded foundation of physical, digital, and intellectual infrastructure to scale, operate, and generate profit.
We're seeing that
Again,
with the
this
data
is
centers.
but this is
We're seeing
but
that right
again,
now with the data centers.
but in a sports analogy, we just had the Pagula family in Buffalo, my home city, just build a stadium that's not even in the county of Erie. It's in the city of Depew, my nigga, and they took $800 million from state federal funding to build the state. Bro, you a billionaire, cuh. You
know
can't
what?
build your own
We need to do a
motherfucking.
receipt room on billionaires too. I got a couple of things. I like my mind is like racing now going into the next fourth quarter. There's so many things I want to do, but you're talking about the Pagula family, that too. Like, man, the billionaires. I think that people think they just work harder. Like I've heard that kind of phrase thrown out there from all these, MAGA adjacent or MAGA adjacent people who are like, oh man, they just work harder. You need to work harder. They don't get how they're being kind of like exploited, how we're all being exploited for the benefit of very few people to pound their chest and beat themselves like, yeah, we're very smart and we just made more money because we made something that everybody wanted and loved and, we're better than y'all. But the truth of the matter is that Elon Musk didn't even make Tesla. People we act like he's just some weird genius because I think he looks like he's autistic, but I don't think that's how he came about his millions. But we gotta do a billionaire episode and break down these motherfuckers because what did they
Well,
contribute
so
and what did they
so
get help from our money, our tax dollars to contribute to their success?
So the public foundation of billionaire dollar wealth, the physical transport grid, massive logistics empires like Amazon rely on completely on the U.S. highway system and public transit networks to deliver goods. The U.S. government spends approximately $626 billion annually across federal and state local levels to maintain roads, bridges, and water systems.
Over here,
So
transportation supply chains.
the internet and GPS, modern tech economy, which minted billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, was built entirely on a foundational government infrastructure. The internet began as ARPANET, right? ARP, ANET, or whatever, funded by the U.S. Department of Defense, and GPS remains a taxpayer-funded satellite utility. Public education and labor. Corporations draw from an educated, healthy workforce whose baseline development is publicly subsidized. Public K through 12 schools, state universities, and federal student aid programs absorb the massive cost of training the talent pool that companies rely on to function. And last but not least, aerospace and satellite grid. Private space and satellite ventures like SpaceX utilize NASA test facilities, launch pads, and decades of public aerospace research alongside massive government launch contracts to scale their commercial operations. So that is through the public foundation of how they grew their wealth, along with direct subsidies and corporate handouts and public ledgers and all shit like that they amassed through.
So we have an affordability crisis while these guys are making trillions of dollars. The billionaire class has 8.1 trillion in this country. The macro view of this is that while the billionaire wealth continues to scale, with total U.S. billionaire assets climbing to roughly 8.1 trillion, The underlying public infrastructure they rely on is chronically underfunded. That's according to Chronic Dreams. If you go to commondreams.org, you can check that out. There's a whole article on billionaire wealth here that you can check out on the affordability crisis and how it affects how they're just pretty much unless I'm subscribing, they are taking advantage of the working class essentially. And then according to data tracked by American Society for Civil Engineers, it would require 9.1 trillion investment to upgrade America's aging public infrastructure to a state of good repair. Critics and economists frequently note that while corporations and ultra high net worth individuals extract tremendous utility from public systems, tax structures like buy, borrow, die allow them to minimize contributing back to the public ledger that enable their success. So, listen, man, I definitely want to dive into this further because I don't have all the time today because this could take me down a whole rabbit hole. I have a whole bunch of questions, but thank you, um, thank you, Corrupt, because I believe that that kind of like spurred us on down this path. That question you provided because it's so true. We have a big problem when it comes to these billionaires acting as if they're just brilliant and that they haven't also gamed the system. And not that they aren't brilliant, not that they don't deserve to be extremely wealthy, but to the degree that they are wealthy, it as now at the cost of having what Amazon, everybody can have poor roads and bad buildings falling down and a high crime rate or a high poverty rate in their cities. People on Skid Row can't even find a meal, and we have people who are going towards $1 trillion. This is not. We gotta sometimes look at our human self and say, this is what we've turned into. This is what we accept and allow in this country. It's outrageous.
Tesla received 1.3 billion in public support during its critical scaling phases. Amazon received at least 419 million in local and state subsidies just for warehouse infrastructure. So again, when we talk about public infrastructure, they receive local and state subsidies to build these warehouses, right? And again, like I just said, public sports stadiums, billionaire sports team owners regularly secure hundreds of $1 millions in local state subsidies for exactly like I just said with Buffalo. And what in the chat he also said that in the chat he also said, you want to know a sign of collapse? Sports teams moving to densely populated areas. I don't know if you've been paying attention. The Chicago Bears are moving to Indiana.
Is that happening for sure?
I believe Chicago ain't paying that bill. They don't. Let me get the.
Okay, he says it's coming because New York did appear to. Okay, ding. Can't make a fortune without the public. Want to know a sign of collapse or see the moving to public areas? Read Brave New World. Anyone praising billionaires are epsilons. Brave New World is the most logical dystopia. Whew. Harping that.
Yeah. Moving to Hammond, Indiana. Which is roughly 30 minutes from downtown Chicago. The Chicago Bears name will remain the same even when they relocate. But right now, state leaders in Illinois, including the governor, continue to try to keep the franchise, but they owe some money. they owe some money, and don't nobody want to pay the ticket. And that's not how that works in big business. Clearly, we talk about how these billionaires work, and they will strong arm the government to get their way. And if they don't get their way, they're going to move to a place where that they'll get the. It's wicked out here, man. It's wicked. Wicked.
Man. So, I wish I could leave on a higher note, But man,
Nah, this was good. No, this is good. This is good talk.
It's a
This
great
this
talk. It's a great talk.
this some good bump, as they say in basketball. It's some good bump.
It's definitely some good bump, man. Um, so yeah, man, you're onto something. Collapse. What you
Chargers
got to
moved
do?
to LA. Chargers moved to LA because SoFi was leased to them for $1 a year. Get the fuck what?
I thought you said a million or something. That's $1 for real?
$1? I gotta look
Okay,
at.
you
All
about to
right.
piss me off, bro.
Yeah,
You about
we
to
about to look. We gotta look into that,
you
kid.
about
We
to
gotta
piss
look
me
into
off,
that,
man.
kid.
Shit. Listen, you gotta look into that for sure.
No, one fucking dollar in all caps. Look it now. He said, "Look it up now." I fuck it. He want to see our reaction. He want to see you turn red. Let me hold on. Did chart? I feel like act right now, typing in the middle of the chat right now.
Oh my god, bro. It's outrageous, man. Like I get to a point where I don't want to make up me and Chris. We talk about this feeling of apathy, right? I don't want to spread apathy by getting the real, like I say, ignorance is bliss. When you actually start to see the large scope of these things, it can breed a sense of an insurmountable feeling of like there's nothing we can do. Nothing can change, and I don't want to feel that way. I really don't. But damn, $1 a year, what the fuck out of here, bro. I just need to end the pod at this point because I gotta think. I gotta think because there's that takes me on a whole other rabbit hole in my mind.
The Chargers are the loss, the San Diego Chargers, now Los Angeles Chargers. Under the terms of their 20-year agreement, the Chargers pay exactly $1 per year in rent to Stan Kroenke Stadium Operating Company while splitting various stadium revenue streams. What? Now Stan Kroenke also one of them guys that spin that shit. He spin that shit. That SoFi, I believe he put his money up on that. You know what I'm saying? So what backdoor sucking it from the back they got going on that the Chargers are able to only pay $1 and split the revenue guys.
Mine is going to some dark places, bro. Because this is not. These are rich people. This is rich shit, and they get to move this way. It gets me angry, honestly. Like it gets me real angry. They get to move this way, and we get under the table, or we sit here and we work ourselves to death, literally. It's crazy, yo. It's crazy. Thanks, Collapse. Yeah, thanks for pissing me the hell off.
Kroenke keeps 100% of non-NFL revenue from massive events like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, WrestleMania, the World Cup, and college bowl games. So again, I'm guessing the Chargers pay for half of the expenses. And let me look at let me see how that split is. The Chargers are able to pay $1 in rent because the lease is structured as a revenue sharing partnership rather than a traditional rental agreement. The stadium's owner,
but
revenue sharing
$1
partnership. Kroenke waived a high fixed rent in exchange for massive long-term financial concessions and funding from the Chargers to help pay off SoFi's $5.5 billion construction bill. So the Chargers are, oh my God.
They're what they're doing is
these niggas is playing. These niggas playing dirty games.
They're washing money.
They're
washing money somehow, and they're all like on the inside group of like you're rich, I'm rich. Let's just do some rich shit together and make more money and make, like I don't even want to go where I'm going with it. I don't wanna just be talking some conspiracies right now. This is not Friday.
Hold on. We gotta let niggas know what we own on this podcast before you let them go. Hey, Collapse. Hey, big dog. Hey, Collapse. Welcome to the Everything Is podcast, where we talk about everything. Listen, Fridays usually we have what we call the conspiracy corner. He said he loves conspiracies. My nigga! we have conspiracy corner.
Yo, take that hat off. It is actually the middle of the week. This is pump day. This is Wednesday. It ain't Friday. It ain't Friday. Listen, we got receipt room typically today. This is the complete opposite of conspiracy. We're supposed to be bringing receipts today, typically.
We bringing receipts. We bringing receipts, bro.
Damn. So yeah, we got receipt room on Wednesdays. Typically, we're bringing that back next month or probably next week.
We can get receipt room and conspiracy theories back
on
next
Wednesdays, and then we have Conspiracy Corner on Fridays. That's our branded shows we have on this channel outside of our just regular news topics we talk about here. So yeah, if you want to tap in on the conspiracies, tap in on Fridays, because we've done already Charlie Kirk, we've done MK Ultra.
Yeah,
we've done CERN. I know the CERN one was getting a lot of hate because we didn't know what the fuck we were talking about, and we were just trying to explore it because it seemed kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm sure that you probably know a lot more than we knew about some of these conspiracies. But me, I'm the skeptic typically, and Chris is all game with conspiracies. So
no, we got your channel. I already got your channel, cuz we already got your channel. We subscribing right now. Sure. He said read his description. An insider to quote the plan to take over the world with technocracy, unquote, by Peter Thiel. I am technocracy. That's what I
don't know. I'm not reading it right now.
All right, I'm a drink in and a joint in. I'm sorry. I am not unaliving myself, nor plan on hurting myself. If I stop all contact, the tech bros and Thiel's agents found me. My heartbeat sensor will release all the proof 48 hours after last heartbeat. It's the only insurance I have to keep them away. Collapsalism. The word normal becomes nostalgic. People talk about before the markets crashed, before the algorithmic layoffs, before supply chains froze. Capitalism's goal is endless growth, and so is cancer's. Death is the end, and technocracy is that death of freedom. Welcome to the real hell. Collapse. My guy. My guy.
You scared me. You scared me, dog.
You got a fan of me, cuz. You got a fan of me, cuz.
Who have we encountered today at Collapse? Listen, man, we appreciate you joining the chat, bro. We here every day, most days,
Monday through Friday,
9:30 Eastern. Definitely we love to have you back on here just to help us out and chat us up. We definitely love the engagement. Whenever you have people in the chat, ends up being one of them shows that really does spur like a whole new life of what we intended it to be. And today was one of them that made it a special show today. So really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. But yeah, we're about to get up out of here. Listen, man. Definitely, if you guys are watching this on delay, please hit the like, subscribe, comment section. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of Collapse Takes, because he went off tonight. For real.
He went off, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. If we the outsiders, if this is Hall and Nash, we might have found our third man. we might have found our Hawkster, cuz.
Yo, he scares me, bro. I'm sorry, man. The shit he's shit he's on is some next level shit. But that's what we're here for. We're here to expose and to put on people from the things that we are not talking about, things that we're not, which everything is. We're talking about everything that matters. And I gotta say, Collapse, everything that you brought up definitely matters. So thank you for joining us tonight. As I always say, all is love. Everything is everything. I'm your host, Shitty Bang, with my co-host, Roller Ayatollah Chris, the Most High. We are out this bitch, but keep love in your hearts and spirits, because we know the world needs more and more of that, man. Stay alive, stay sharp, stay strong, stay kind.
Hey, and listen, we are the show that will never tell you what to think. We always ask you, would you like to? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Collapse making us think, because we love to think around this motherfucker.
Most definitely. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern. Peace.
Peace.